Hello and welcome to this video. In this one I'll be showing you the controls of the game, especially if you're on computer. So right now I'm on computer, I'm on PC. So because of that, some of you might not know the exact controls, which is why I will show you exactly all the controls here and also the settings and things like that. So first of all, when you equip a gun, you can of course click on this, but you can also press the key buttons, the number keys on your keyboard here, as you can see. Now when you have a when you have a weapon equipped, you can hold right click to aim. Now while you're aiming, you won't be able to sprint, but if you're not aiming, you can sprint. So like this, you hold shift on your keyboard while you're moving. So let's say you're moving forwards, you hold shift and you run, you sprint. Now while you're sprinting, you can still shoot at things, but when you reload, you'll stop sprinting and you'll have to re-hold the sprint key again, which is the shift key. Now when you're robbing something, for example this cash register here, tilt guard, and then there's this cash register. It says press Z to rob this. Z is the melee key for PC, so you press the Z key on your keyboard and you'll do a melee. Some of the primaries also have melees, so such as this one, there's a melee here. And this also works in jeweler, so for example, you can break the glass inside the jeweler, but I'll just show you on the window here. As you can see, I broke the window using the melee. You can also damage the NPCs using the melee, but it's not that easy to do. And you can of course damage players too as well. And then now for the more complex keybinds, there's the first person keybind that you might have seen on mobile. If you have ever played this on mobile, you'll see the first person and you're wondering how to do that on PC. To do that, you press the G key. G, aka this G key. You press it on your keyboard and you'll be in the first person now. So now you're in the first person. And then of course, if you want to go back to third person, you just press the G key again. And then you can also switch perspectives. By that I mean you can do this. So this is useful for if you're holding an angle like this. So with this one, you'll want the perspective to be on your right side, on your right shoulder. But for something like this, of course you would want the perspective to be on your left shoulder. Now to do this, you just press the Q key. The Q, aka this one. So you press the Q key and it will switch shoulders, perspectives, So that is how you do that. And then another thing that most people don't know is that when you're zooming in, you can actually scroll on your scroll wheel to zoom even further. This only works on third person. On first person you can't do it, but on third person you can. So this just gives you more, more zoom, I guess. So this is like extremely zoomed in. And now what else? Right, so the settings here. So as you can see, these are the settings. You will be able to see the normal servers here. You'll be able to see the server type. So if you have less than 250 kills, I think you'll be in the beginner server. But if you have more than 250 kills, you'll be in a normal server. So there's a beginner server and normal server. And this is the server region. So most of the time it's the US region, but for this one specifically, I'm in the SG region. So you can see the region here. There's also German region and North Holland region, and I think Japan region, although it's very rare. Now here are the settings for the gameplay. Now waypoints here, shows you these things. So if you're not familiar with the map yet, you should have this turned on. So as you can see, it shows the city diner, hideout, clothing store, bank, gas station, jeweler, harbor, fish diner, and of course the gun shop and market. But I have this turned off since I already know where the places are. Name tags is for this. So if I turn this off, you can see my name tag disappears. And if I turn this back on, it reappears. Player gun tracers. Now player gun tracers are these things. So when you're shooting, there's a white line that goes out of your barrel. That's the tracer. So if you turn this off and then you shoot again, now there won't be gun tracers. So the NPC gun tracers is just the one from the cops, or I guess something like the cashier. So as you can see, if I have this turned on and I shoot the cashier, as you can see there was gun tracers there. But if I turn this off, there's no gun tracer. So that's what that does. This can be useful for example, if you want to specifically only know when a player is shooting at you, you can turn off the NPC gun tracer so that if you see a gun tracer, that means that a player is shooting at you because NPC's gun tracers are turned off. And then there's also sounds in which you can change your sounds and the volume. The guns, obviously the volume for guns. Police, I think, are for the sound, the voices of the police. The deaths are when you die. When you die, there's that sound that happens. I think that's what that is. And then hit marker. Hit marker is this. So when you're hitting a NPC, you can hear the sound, like a click sound. Or if you shoot the head, there's like a blood sound. So that's for that. And then crosshair. So crosshair is basically the thing that you're aiming with. So right now I have this blue crosshair here that looks like this. To change that, you go to crosshair and crosshair type. There's a bunch. Circle 1 looks like this. Lines look like this. This is the default crosshair that you start off with when you first join the game. And then there's also cross 1, which is the one I'm currently using. There's also circle 2, which is also good but not as accurate. Cross 2, some people prefer cross 2 over cross 1 because there's a dot in the middle, so it's more accurate. But honestly, in my opinion, I prefer cross 1. And of course, you can change the crosshair color. This is what pink looks like. This is what green looks like. This is what white looks like. Although it's hard to see if you're aiming at the sky or something like that. And then this is what red looks like. So personally, I prefer something like cyan since it's different from every other thing, since it's like these buildings here are dark colored, these people are dark colored, even the white you can still see. So yeah, and then of course the update logs and the shop in which you can buy things. So that is it for the controls and everything like that. There's of course controls for the game, for the Roblox client itself, but I'm not covering that here. So yeah, that is it. Thank you for watching and I hope you find this helpful. Thank you.